Well, hello, and it's Andy, or Captain Clumsy here, and today is a very, very special day as I'm going to pick up some rear shocks from my BSA, the Shrouded type.
Why would I want shrouded shocks on my BSA Goldstar? Well, I think the answer to that is they look period correct. Modern bikes typically have exposed springs, or even in the case of monoshocks, you can't see them at all. So for me, this felt like the right move, but getting them, that was another matter altogether. Soon after the launch of the Goldstar, a firm called Tech brought out some shrouded shocks, but they were shortly after withdrawn from the market. For what reason, I don't know, possibly quality control. Anyhow, I was unable to acquire any at a reasonable price, and so I was sat thinking, well, I'm going to have to wait till I've got enough money to afford something a bit more expensive, such as the offerings from Hagen, which are excellent. I've had Hagen shocks before. Fortunately for me, however, the chance came to acquire some second hand through a member of a forum that I belong to. This chap, Mark, very nice guy, had acquired some already second hand from somebody else and then decided not to fit them, which was great for me because I could then acquire them from him. However, that did mean a long journey through the wilds of Devon, and it's a beautiful place. Despite some random routes chosen by SatNav, I did arrive and met Mark.
Which where? Okay. Where? Ideal. Perfect. Shocks duly picked up, didn't really film inside there, didn't really feel it was appropriate. But what a lovely chap Mark is. So, yes, a really good trip. The sun is shining, the road is dry and empty. Marvellous.
The rest of the journey home was uneventful, with one pit stop for a comfort break and to check the security of the shocks.
Just a quick look at the shocks strapped on the back.
Masking tape helps reduce the risk of damage to the chrome down nuts.
Should do it.
For your comfort and convenience, I have speeded up certain sections of this fitting process, but be aware you might need some time to complete it.
Big thanks to Roger for all Goldie. He's a top bloke. Sadly, he's been a bit sidelined recently. Hope the recovery is going well. Rog, you should follow his video really for the full lowdown. First task is to remove
This shock. There we go. Wasn't too difficult. It's not loosened off. Second knot. And we'll just go to the regular spanner because that might be a bit easier. And now he's quite loose. So keep the nuts and the ring. Keep the washers on both sides because they go back on. Yeah, and it's off. Right, the bike will naturally sag a little bit.
So, having removed the standard shock, what came next should have been simple, but you know me, I'm Captain Clumsy, and it wasn't. So, much struggling ensued with the bike trying to get the new shock on and failing, basically. So, I decided to do a little bit of a rethink and came up with the idea of adjusting the spring setting to make it a little bit more manageable.
Right, so I've adjusted the shock down to its lowest setting to give it make it a little bit shorter. So hopefully it won't be quite such an effort.
Well, it wasn't as much of an effort, but it was still quite an effort, so more struggling with the machine ensued. Now, I'm sure all you competent mechanics are laughing your socks off at the sight of me struggling, but in the end I did get it right and it actually went on.
On! Well, there you go, it can be done. Right.
Replace the right hand shock bolts loosely. Why loosely? Because you're going to have to take them off again, so you can take the whole shock off to do the left hand shock properly.
Not too difficult. Once again, keep those to one side. And the washers. Now we need to prime this side by bumping it up and down. Right, I think that should do it. So now it's time to get the second shock absorber on. Fast to do this. Well, easy as you like. Let's get these nuts back on and properly tightened. One. And now we take the other shock off for now. Prime this one. Right, sorry you missed that. I'd had to do that off camera. Battery ran out on this camera. But we finally have got both shocks on. They've both been primed. So all that's left to do is to tighten up. And then later we'll get the correct torque settings and get them adjusted. But for now, this is job done. I'll get the masking tape off. It's as usual, it's me, Captain Clumsy. A bit more of a hassle for me than for other people, but rest assured, for most people, this is going to take half an hour to an hour at most. If you're unsure about your physical strength, get somebody to help you. So there we are. That's the right hand rear shock tightened up. I'll adjust the torque settings properly when I've got an adapter for the 3/8 to the 1/2 inch drive. Okay, I think we're done for now. I've been Andy, or Captain Clumsy. This has been an idiot's guide to suspension modification on a BSA Goldstar, or indeed almost any bike with twin shocks at the back. But if you're unsure about how to do this, get somebody to help you, or even better, get a trained mechanic to do it. But you'll have to pay. But remember, if I can do this, so can you. If you like more of these idiots' guides, keep watching, because I'm sure there'll be more coming. Next is going to be riding a review of these shocks. Are they any different? Are they any better? Are they any worse? Also, do they look any better? Well, that's it. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.